Hey everybody, this is Cobra C Capshaw here / Mr. Smiles a Lot. How you guys doing today? I'm here with my buddy again, Brandon Kacar. So today we're going to be doing some martial arts demonstrations, and what we're going to be focusing on is why keeping the center line is always important no matter what style of martial art you are doing. And yes, when I say center line, I am talking about the applications of Wing Chun and Jeet Kune Do and other styles of that nature where you have to do that. Now, little disclaimer, I know that Wing Chun gets a bad rep because people say it's ineffective, it doesn't work, and a lot of other Wing Chun practitioners, they show you false Wing Chun. But where I study my Wing Chun is at West County Wing Chun, and it's actually Yip Man's lineage of Wing Chun, my Dai Sigong. So the direct lineage is historical. So the thing is that my Sifu, Dennis Moreland, he only wants us to demonstrate things on video that we actually practice and that we know. So I'm not going to do anything flashy. I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to do the basics of what he has shown me, so that way I'm not, just stepping out of line with the tradition of Wing Chun, because of the fact that it does get that bad rep that it's not effective. So before we start, so in Wing Chun, or most martial arts, they teach you how to fight rounded, where it's going this way, or that way. But when it comes to Wing Chun, right, it's like this, and it's we sit like this. It's almost like you're kind of in a, almost not really in a chair, but it's like this. And the reason that we do that is just like with boxing, when you turn your hip into it, the power comes from your leg and transfers up to your hand, right? Well, the same thing, except when we keep it center lined as I'm throwing a pak hit, which is a straight hit like so. As you can see, it's from my center, I'm right here, and it goes like that. And the energy transfers from my legs up through my hand, through my body to my hand, just like that. And that's why if you want more power out of it, what we will sometimes do is we'll do the turn like this, where we come up like that, right? But we still keep it centered. So the reason that keeping things centered is important is because, let's say that I'm in a traditional boxing stance and so is he, right? So let's say he throws the left jab at me like this. I can slip it like this, right? And most boxing, it'll teach you to be rounded like this, which is fine, okay? But watch the difference here. If I stay rounded on that slip, but I stay centered right here, I'm still facing him and I'm still staying centered. And the reason is because I want to make my main attack line from here and from here, whether I'm on the outside or the inside. So when it comes to most traditional Wing Chun, what we're going to do is we're going to do a pak sao, which is this, which is a little this right here, and then I'm going to probably move to the side, keeping with the center, coming in with a pak hit or an open hand like this, or I will do, as you all know, the Wing Chun practitioners, a tan sao, which is the inside block like this, and then traditional Wing Chun here or so, okay. And the reason is because, watch this. So when it comes to boxing, right, so let's say he does that, right, I love doing this, right, because it does get me out of here. But the problem is that I don't feel like I'm always on center. So that's why a lot of times when it comes to boxing, you have to switch your feet to do this, right? But if you do Wing Chun and you keep center, watch, I don't have to switch my feet. Right from here, all I have to do, posture up, transfer right here, and then I can attack his center line from that posture there and get all my power from here instead of having to swing my foot all the way around. But it is good to know how to get out of the way, so you can do that. But for me personally, let's say I'm doing a slip, and let's say I do a little block like this to get out of the way, that's the difference. So from here versus there, see? So that's why it's important to keep that center line, so that way you can learn how to do such things. And not only that, but when you keep your center line, you can learn how to block and evade and dodge from a lot of the same areas using either the same arm or same area concept, right? So if I stay centered here and you just throw random punches at me, right? Boom, do it again. Boom, do it again. Boom, do it again. Boom, do it again. Again, again, again. See? So that's the point of what I'm saying, is that I barely moved my arms, and that's because I was waiting for the punch to come to me, but I learned how to evade it and move it out of the way with just those little simple techniques from Wing Chun and Wing Chun, as you can see. So that's why, to me, it's important to always keep that center line for the fact that you can learn how to do that. You can learn how to move in and out of the way from the center line. And honestly, I feel like if a lot of other styles kept with a center line, it would really help with their fighting a lot, because I can see the benefits in it, even with kicks, right? So if I throw a roundhouse kick, right? Yes, I know it's a roundhouse kick, so I am going around, but here's the difference. So here's this, like a regular Muay Thai roundhouse kick, I can do that. But if I throw my kick and keep my center forward, I get a better, personally for me, I get a better snap, I get more power, and I get more oomph out of it because I'm going forward with it. So there's the regular Muay Thai or, Taekwondo kick, but then if you keep it centered here, now watch me the whole time, my body's going to stay centered as I throw that kick instead of coming rounded. And yes, you can get more rotation out of your hips sometimes if you learn how to center, chamber, and snap at the same time, right? So here I'm staying centered, but then watch this, boom, see? But my body stays centered the whole time. I stayed forward and had that equal distribution between my weight, okay? Now, even in a traditional boxer, kickboxer stance, which I will take to defend myself, notice how I am like this, but I'm also still very centered, right? But that's because, yes, I'm facing him, but I can also move out of the way, staying centered and being rounded for slipping, rolling, and blocking and getting moves out of the way on that aspect. Now, what we're going to have Brandon do for you guys is, since he's tactically trained in hand-to-hand combat, I'm going to throw a few punches at him, just like one by one, and then he's going to catch and show some tactical arm locking drills, and then I'm going to show him how staying centered in those drills can actually make his attacks, his locks more powerful. So, Brandon, why don't you speak up, tell me what to do, and So
let's say you're in a dispute situation with someone that's being very surly and very rude. So let's say you're the only officer there on scene, okay, and the subject is being very obnoxious with you. He's just being very aggressively with you, verbally. You give him verbal commands, they don't follow, then it gets physical then. But you don't want to get physical with them. They try to get physical with you, then you're going to throw what we call excessive force. That's the very least you ever want to go for, is excessive force. You always want to go with verbal commands. So let's say I'm responding to a verbal dispute with you, all right? Let's say you got into an argument with someone, all right? I'm getting your side of the story, and you're being really upset with being very upset with me for no reason. And let's say I'm gonna put you in handcuffs, okay? I'm gonna put you in custody, and all of a sudden you're gonna try to fight back with me. So let's say I'm putting you in custody, okay? Let's say you try to resist from me, okay? So for example, what you could do is you put your foot behind their left foot right here. It locks their position in, so they can't move. You have no force to move. They have no force at all. Only you, the arresting officer, has all that force. So let's say you're trying to resist from me. Let's say you try to run off, okay? But you can't. You see, he can't go anywhere because he's locked in.
And notice he has my arm trapped with the other hand.
So here's another maneuver. Now let's say you're facing me, okay? You're facing me. You're trying to get physical with me, okay? So let's say you're going to throw a swing on me. Here's one maneuver. It's an underarm swing, and it's going to be a rear end wrist lock. And then I'll show you what a forward rear end wrist lock is. So a wrist lock is when you're putting their joint on them, and you're basically putting their nerves on their thumbs and on their forearms, so you have control over their
manipulation and joints. And
so for example, let's say you're going to throw a swing at me, okay? So you go like that, right? Come around to the back. You will feel the joint from his elbow to the upper shoulder arm right here. You take the thumb, okay? Let's say you're trying to resist one more time from me. Let's say you try to throw another swing at me, for example. You bring this arm behind. You will feel the other joint back here on this side, all right? Now, another maneuver is, let's say I'm going to put you in a forward wrist lock position, okay? So come at me again. Nope. See? He can't go anywhere because I have full force on him. He should be feeling the joint right up here. It's supposed to be stinging.
Little tip I would say, if you really want to get that joint there, make sure my hand is down like this and you're pressuring right here while pulling that way. Yep, I feel it more just doing it to myself. But so he's right. The thing that I've noticed though is that on some of those locks, I'm not saying they didn't work, but I could tell that if you would have maybe centered your shoulders a little bit more, maybe your hips, it would have been a little bit more powerful. So why don't you retry some of those, and instead of being so sideways, center towards me, and I promise you, you'll feel a difference. So let's start from the top. Okay, so like what you're doing there, right? Now, traditionally, let's say I do this, right? Don't, like, this might sound strange, but as I'm running away, as you're coming at me, don't turn your shoulders or hips, like stay centered with me, if that makes any sense. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So as I'm doing this, right? See how can you feel that it's harder? I can even feel it's harder for me to get away as you're centering. I can feel that physically, that's harder, right? So let's say I throw that punch and then you do that duck under move there, right? Okay, now as you're doing it, center your hips and center your shoulders and then come around, but staying centered the whole time. See how much tighter that is now? Mm-hmm. See? Yep. All right. See, that's just a good example of what I mean. It doesn't matter if you're doing, you know, a wrist lock or, a joint lock. It doesn't matter if you're pulling in and doing one of these, or it doesn't matter if you're doing boxing, Muay Thai. I'm just saying that, yeah, keeping it centered helps, in my opinion, 100%. And here's the thing. Not everything in martial arts works. We know this. And it's all about you. It's all about the practitioner. It's about how hard you practice. It's about what you take, what applies, and what works and what doesn't work. But you always practice all the moves no matter what, because there might be a situation where you might be able to pull that move off while defending yourself. And the other most important thing that I say all the time is train to fight so you don't have to. Be a nice, humble person. Don't train to fight and don't go looking out for fights. You know, learn to, besides just in martial arts, learn to really center yourself. Don't give flack to other martial arts. Give respect to other martial arts, because, you know, if someone's practicing a martial art, if it makes them happy, if it makes them feel good, if it gets them fit, and it makes them like find themselves, like how martial arts helped me find myself, like throughout all the years I've done it, you should be a good friend and be like, hey, show me some of your moves, or let's train together, or let's practice together, you know? Like, example, I show him my Jeet Kune Do, Wing Chun, Taekwondo stuff all the time. He always shows me his tactical locks and things, and then I show him, like, you know, a lock from martial arts, and then he'll show me how to improve upon it, like with little different joint stuff, you know, like things like this, and like, you know, just whatever. It doesn't matter what, you get what I'm saying. But so we're gonna sign off here. Later on next week, we might end up doing another video. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Well, we love you all. Thank you, Armando, for filming. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please watch this video. Just like my advice videos, take everything with a grain of salt, okay? Just because I'm doing this and stuff, that doesn't mean it might not work for you, and that's fine. If you love karate, if you love taekwondo, if you love boxing, if you love Muay Thai, it doesn't matter. Whatever style works for you, works for you. I'm rambling on now, but anyway, love you guys. See you later, and thanks for watching.